I'm back, still discussing Resident Evil 7. This isn't a review. I just purposely left things out of the review because if you haven't played the game yet, I want you to experience this stuff for yourself. Okay, so when you fight the final boss, you see these helicopters and you even hear voices from commandos on a radio. You assume it's the BSA. Anyway, they throw you a handgun that you unlock a replica of after beating the game, the Albert 01R anti-bioweapon handgun. Albert as in, presumably, Albert Wesker. I do not think they named it that on accident. I think we're fixing to see the return of Wesker. Oh, but didn't he die in Resident Evil 7? Well, if you can play through Resident Evil 6, or at least look up a synopsis of the plot, cloning is a thing in the Resident Evil universe. I'll say this for 6. Nothing in the gameplay is broken beyond repair, but I don't want car chase scenes in my Resident Evil game. I don't want to control a Humvee. I don't want to control a fighter jet and shoot at the decks of aircraft carriers. And the levels were just... There were too many playable characters. Each campaign has 2 characters in it, and to 100% the game, you have to play through each campaign with each character, and the game is just way too long. The levels are just not the game itself, but the levels for each stage are just way too long. Like the aforementioned Humvee scene, you jump the Humvee onto the deck of an aircraft carrier in any normal game, that would be the end of the level. No, Resident Evil 6 just points and laughs at you and says, now you have to do the aircraft carrier too. We're not going to make it that short for you. And I like longer games, but in this case, it's a proof that a game can wear out its welcome. It was way too action-based, and the average enemy just didn't fit the aesthetic of Resident Evil. I think it's a bad game, but I think it's just a victim of too many ingredients in the pot. But back to Resident Evil 6. And after you beat the final boss, a commando comes down from the helicopter. It's Chris Redfield. Okay, not unexpected. If you think those are BSA helicopters, yeah, seeing Chris Redfield, that's a distinct possibility. But then the plot thickens. The helicopters are Umbrella Corporation. Whoa, this was juicy. Now, the new Umbrella, if you play through Not a Hero, which is a free DLC, it was basically founded by execs in the Umbrella Corporation who aren't part of the inner circle of Umbrella. They're a private mercenary anti-bioweapon force, and from what I gather, they just kept the name Umbrella because they were involved with Umbrella, so it was just for transparency's purposes. Is the new Umbrella truly a force for good? Only time will tell. There's Umbrella's, would the company mentioned in this game, I can't think of their name off the top of my head, but you get the feeling they were Umbrella's top rival company, so do we kind of have now where Umbrella's a force for good with the BSA and this new company's the villain? I do not have the answer at this time. No one does, but it's a nice touch, and it just... I feel like now, where after Resident Evil 6, It's just, what do they do and where do they go from here? And I haven't even completed the game. It's just knowing what I know about the story. With this one, I feel like the future of Resident Evil is more wide open than ever, and there are so many more good possibilities than there were before. So, what are your thoughts on the ending of Resident Evil 6? Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe below. Over and out.